Grant Paulson put a poll on his Twitter account, Grant H. Paulson.
Yeah.
Would you rather the Washington football team go 6-10 and win the NFC East? So they have to win 3 more games. They win the NFC East with a record of 6-10.
Yep.
Or go 4-12 and pick into the top 5. Now I know your answer. You want to win games.
I want to win. If you have a chance to win a division, I'm taking it every single time.
What do you think the people have said? And if you want to chime in on the AAA Always On Call listener lines, you can at 800-636-1067. I'm looking at his poll. It's still open, but over 2,500 votes. How many, what do you think the percentage of people that say that they want them to go 6-10?
Well, what I saw early on was close to 50-50, actually.
It's 50-50.
Which kind of surprising to me.
Right down the middle.
To me, it's a no-brainer. If you have a chance to win the division, you're saying it's guaranteed division winner, you're going to the playoffs, I'm taking it every single time. Every single time I'm taking it. I mean, it's not even close.
Cakes?
I take the 4-12. Easy. This is easy. I take the 4-12 because I still view 6-10 as a fail. Even if it wins a division, that's a failure.
It's doubling the win total, and you're heading in the right direction.
That's fine. You double the win total from a just historically bad team.
Right.
But
I think it's
6-10. I'm sorry, it's still a failure of a season, even if you win a division title, in my opinion.
It's not a great season. Nobody said it was, but it's closer to where you want to be, in my opinion. Just drafting near the top doesn't guarantee you anything.
No guarantees, but I'd rather have a bite at the apple closer to the silly part of the apple than the worst part.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of good parts of the apple. There's plenty of good players.
Apple's kind of overrated, in my personal opinion. In our fruit poll. Well, I'm sure we'll do that at some point in 2021. We'll
Definitely
do it like every 2 or 3 years.
Remember, the blueberry is a standalone fruit.
That will never not make me laugh.
I don't know.
Fez's meltdown about blueberries. It'll never not make me laugh. It's always funny.
I think we've done the fruit poll before.
We have. That's my point, is that we will do it again.
I think
it's
I
evergreen.
always have plum up there. I'm big on plums.
Plum wouldn't even make my playing game. Are you
plums
kidding?
and watermelon. Oh my God, I love.
Just send all the fruit to Mike McCarthy so he can smash it before Dallas takes on Washington to inspire his team.
I am surprised that the poll's at 50-50, but we see it right here with the split between EB and Cakes. Let's go to the boys behind the glass. Valdez and Drab, if you're fans of Washington, and I know both of you root for different teams.
No, they love Detroit, apparently.
The Drab Hawks and the Ravens.
Big Lions team.
What is better, 6-10, win the division?
Win the division. Win the division. Don't even finish. You always play to win. You're sized for a silly NFC East banner.
Okay, Herm Edwards.
Right. You're sized to unveil that NFC Champions banner.
You'd be ashamed. You'd be ashamed.
No, you know what?
Fly a banner for a 6-win team.
It doesn't say 6 wins. It says 2020 NFC East
Can I get a ring
champion.
for it? I get a ring for winning the NFC East?
No chance you get a ring for that.
Why not?
I would be ashamed as an organization to unfurl a banner for a 6-win season. It's embarrassing.
Hey, if Washington wins a Super Bowl now that we're rights holders, currently, does that mean we get rings?
Yes, sure.
Oh, I'm sized.
Daniel Snyder's getting.
You're playing the real long game.
I am sized. Hey, Drabby can speak to this because his terrible Seahawks went to the playoffs with 7 wins and won the playoff game.
One of the greatest moments in sports history.
Right. So what do you?
Beastquake.
Right. So what would you? What would you
prefer? Of course you take the division championship because in the playoffs you're all 0-0.
Exactly. But if you're peaking, if we get to the playoffs at 6-10, that means we are coming in on a heater.
Are you kidding? Are we really having this conversation?
Dude,
you're peaking?
We could be. We could be.
Oh my God! I can't believe this conversation.
So who would they would play? Probably,
I don't
maybe
know.
the Rams or the Seahawks.
Both teams beatable.
Come on, now you're gonna wreck me.
Yeah, both teams beatable. They're not juggernauts.
The Rams drummed Washington earlier this year.
I get sized to play the Rams. I don't get that scared.
They fall into that category too.
I don't get that scared. Yeah, I don't get that scared of the Rams. I mean, they'll be favorites. They deserve to be, but I don't get that scared to play the Rams. Put it this way: we can win the
They
division
just
and play
beat-
the Rams.
They just beat Tampa and Tom Brady in Tampa.
Yeah, that's weird. That's fine. They're just
Golf through for like 400 yards.
I feel like Goff is Jekyll and Hyde, so he can be really hot, but he can also be cold. So
It's every quarterback.
no, I don't think that's true. I think some are just really, really good. I don't
Yeah,
put him
if
in that
they win
elite
the
category.
division, it'll probably be the Rams, maybe the Seahawks, maybe the Bucks. Team like that.
Of those three, I'd probably want to play the Bucks the least, just because of Brady's experience.
You wouldn't be embarrassed to walk into the stadium and see 2020 NFC East champions, knowing you were 4 games below 500. That's an embarrassment.
Well, we wouldn't be 4 games below.
I was
What's he
embarrassed-
talking about?
I was embarrassed as a Caps fan walking into Verizon, seeing those stupid Southeast Division banners they love to fly from the rafters. Embarrassing, and that was winning the division.
So I don't really understand this, Cakes. You're focusing on the banner. You know what's more embarrassing? Not winning the 6 and 10 division.
Yeah.
By the way,
You're acting like
I'm not
2 games.
convinced
You're
you
acting
need
like
to get
4
to
and 6. There's like a quantum leap between 4 wins and 6 wins. What are we talking about?
The goal is to win a Super Bowl.
You guys are so short-sighted. You want to win a terrible division with 6 wins when 4 wins is 2 less, and you get a way better draft pick, which could set you up for the next 10 years.
You
And
can get a
you're
great
hyper-focused on
you
what
already have
But
a
you're
pick.
hyper-focused on
Yeah.
the top of the draft,
Yeah,
like that's
Cakes,
some sort of
I'm not saying it's a cure-all.
golden ticket.
There's no guarantee.
yeah, I mean, you
you're gonna
could
get
draft
the guys
Mitch
that-
Trubisky, and then you're
Well, you know what? Have a better personnel department that doesn't draft Mitch Trubisky.
Cakes is a fantasy guy. He just wants players that rack up stats, a juicy new player every
I know,
year.
I'm crazy.
You know what? If you-
I embrace
You don't know
numbers
about-
and analytics and science. I'm crazy.
So, Cakes,
Whoa.
hold on, Cakes. If you eke into the fantasy playoffs and win the entire playoff, are you going to turn down the cash because your team
Absolutely
stunk?
not. I'm not a professional organization. I'm a fly-by-night donk. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar franchise here. We're not talking about my stupid fantasy team. I have a different opinion than you guys. I'm entitled to my opinion. You're entitled to yours.
Well, it's a
My
wrong-
opinion
it's a wrong opinion.
My opinion is 6 wins is barely better than 4 wins, and it's embarrassing to celebrate a 6-win season.
You
That's
wouldn't
my
necessarily
opinion.
hold on. You wouldn't necessarily celebrate it, but you will take winning the division and going to the playoffs and being in the dance. I would take it every single time.
Well,
There's
we
no
differ.
question.
We differ there.
Yeah, but I'm not. You're not going
never
rah
gonna
rah.
sway
We're
me-
great.
You're never going to sway me off of this hill. I'm dying on this hill.
Right.
That's fine.
And people make fun of the Seahawks for winning that division, and then they won the Super Bowl 3 years later. But you
Right.
got to have a high draft pick, right, Cakes?
A high draft pick generally helps.
Or maybe you just got to get
it generally
experience.
helps. You just
Or
have to
just-
hit, you have to hit
gel
on
as a team.
your pick.
Right. Well, they made it. Just draft well.
Okay, you
That's
know
all.
what? If Washington wins 6 games and they draft that stiff out of Oregon offensive lineman who does nothing in the league, and then somebody drafts a transformational quarterback, I'll take all of the applause. I'll take my victory lap.
There will
Thank you.
be Cakes. There are quarterbacks drafted after the top 10.
I understand.
All
I know
the
there
time.
are Russell Wilsons. I know there are Kirk Cousins. Those guys go on. to
Pat
success in
Mahomes,
the
I think,
league.
went 10. I mean, they go 10. You could draft a quarterback anywhere. Where did Lamar Jackson go? Where did I've done this bit a million times where I've posted all the quarterbacks.
There are
that
also
were drafted
lots of
out-
quarterbacks drafted in the top 5 who go on to win Super Bowls.
Okay, and
become
there are a lot of busts
franchise
too.
cornerstones.
There are a lot of busts.
Sure.
You know,
The draft's an inexact science. But you guys celebrate your 6-win season.
Exactly.
You have fun with that.
the draft is an inexact science, but you want to just throw everything in on
I
it.
want to have higher picks, generally, yes.
I want to reiterate this. The division winner could have 5 wins. It's not a guarantee
True.
you need to get to 6.
I
think
always
11
want to
is
win the
possible.
division. All right, so let's see. Let's bang out some of these calls. I'd love to hear from the listeners. Are they in sync with most of us, or are they in sync with Cakes? I think Cakes is on an island here in our group.
I may be.
But not like sort of the general public. If you take Grant's tweet as sort of a somewhat random sampling, he's got it about 50-50.
During the break, Amy asked me if I was okay. And I said, I'm fine. Just having a stupid sports argument.
Why? What? Because she feels
I
like we're
guess 'cause I
piling
was-
on you.
I guess because I was animated. I'm loud.
Oh,
Probably
Good,
waking up
you
the
should be
entire
animated.
house.
right. That
should
means you're
be.
doing your. That means you're doing your job.
Sure. I said I'm fine.
All right.
I'm
Let's
okay.
go to Let's go to line one. Let's go to John in Austin. John, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Morning, Junkies. How are
What's
you?
up, man?
Hey, buddy. What do you prefer?
So I think that dogging the season in order to get a higher draft pick is a fallacy. I think it's wrong. I think you build a fantastic team around a decent quarterback, then maybe down the road, if you happen to get a great draft pick. I mean, look at that guy Gilbert for the Cowboys. I thought he came in, had never played an NFL game before, started his first game, and I thought he did pretty well.
Okay, so you're going to toss the keys to Garrett Gilbert because he came in and he looked okay in one game? I don't understand the point.
He's saying he's one of these guys that wants to build up the rest of the team and not just mortgage everything on the quarterback. So it seems like
So he doesn't want to find the most
Washington
important piece?
football team. He feels like get your dubs now, even if it costs you a couple of slots in the draft, and then build the rest of your team. Go with Alex Smith, let's say, moving forward, and then eventually you find your quarterback who then slides into a stronger team.
You know, I tweeted this back in October because this always comes up about 5 weeks into the season when Washington has a terrible record and everyone bails on them by about week 6. Brady went 6th. Russell Wilson went third round. Drew Brees, 2nd round. Lamar Jackson went 32nd in the 1st round. Aaron Rodgers went 21st. Mahomes went 10th. You don't have to tank to win. You just have to find the right guy. That's all. Just got to find the right guy.
Aaron Rodgers is another one. I don't know if you mentioned Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah, 21st.
My
in the
argument
first round.
is it's easier to find the right guy in the top 5 than it is in the 6th round. Okay, Tom Brady's a 6th rounder. That's great. But that's a complete dart throw. Every team passed on him multiple times.
He's an outlier, but he doesn't have to be top 5.
I'm not saying it has to be top 5. I'm just saying I think your odds are better of finding your guy in the top 5, top 10 than they are, just with a wild pick in the 3rd round. That's all.
Look, most of the starters are first-round picks. It's just the way it is. If you went through all 32 teams.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily all first-round picks in the top 3 or 4 or 5.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
you mentioned Mahomes was 10. Deshaun Watson, both of them in the 2017 draft. I think Deshaun was 12.
Right. Lamar went 32nd.
Yeah, but you look at the games tomorrow, right? The Texans have a first-round pick in Deshaun, who was 12th. Was Stafford number 1 overall?
Number
I think
1.
so, yeah.
Big Ben, I can't remember when he was drafted.
He was like 10th or 11th. He was
Right.
somewhere in that range.
Another one, yeah. It might have been 9 or something, but yeah, he was not in the top 5. You can find. They don't have to be in the top 5 to find a great one.
I like guys with silly pedigrees.
Those guys have great
Generally
pedigrees.
like those guys.
Yeah, but where are the rest of the Steelers drafted since they're undefeated? All those weapons. They're not all first-round
Hey,
draft
you
picks.
know what? I give
Claypool,
but you know
James
what?
Conner,
Okay,
Deontay
that's
Johnson,
fine. I
Derek-
understand
the
all
draft
that,
well.
But you know what? This organization, they don't have the Steelers front office. Don't act like the guys in Ashburn have the same sort of drafting chops and acumen as the guys in Pittsburgh. Because it's not even close.
Right, but so it's
What does it matter then?
So just replace the guys that are picking the players. I mean, the last few
Yeah.
drafts have been better.
I'm fine with that. Get new guys in your personnel department.
Win though. Don't just lose. Win and draft better. I don't know. All right, let's go to Paul, line 2, Silver Spring. Paul, what's up, buddy? You're on with the Junks.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I was going to make the exact same point you guys just made, but I guess I'll just make it again, and that fixating on, let's tank and get the 3rd, 4th round pick, whatever. All these picks, none of them are an exact
By the way, they're not the Washington football team is not tanking. They're just not very good. They're not actively
Right.
tanking.
And
They're
that's
just-
fine.
They're just not a very good team.
That's
why their
fine.
record is what it is.
Correct.
Yeah, and so just give it your best shot. Let's see what all your players have in them and try to build on that. Yeah, they're not going anywhere this year. Everybody knows that. But let's just see what happens and play for like it means something and see what you got in your players and just move forward and let the chips fall where they fall. And, let's try to get a 4th round pick. And, how do you really know the 4th round pick is going to be any better than the 6th, 7th, 8th round pick, whatever? Just that's all really, And I'm a Steeler fan. And when's the last time we drafted high? almost never. And like I forget which one of you guys said this, Roethlisberger was picked in the 11th round, and a lot of those other quarterbacks that you talked about.
No,
Not 11th round, but like 11th.
You know, they weren't picked in the top 5, most of them.
Right,
You know,
Right.
so just you know, play like it means something. Even though, yeah, we know they're not going anywhere this year. Just play like it means something and see what you got in all your players moving forward. And, you know, you'll learn more about them going in the next year, who you might want to keep or not keep, or, you know, what to go for to try to help improve your roster going into, into next year.
Thank you for the call.
But you do, as
He's
Cake
going
I
said-
mean, I
circles.
think you guys fell asleep.
As Cake said, you increased your odds with top picks. By the way, Big Ben was drafted 11th in the 2004 draft. Listen to this draft. Number 1, Eli Manning. Okay, won 2 Super Bowls. No, Cakes hated him, thought he was a terrible player.
I didn't hate. Hate is a strong word. I thought he was overrated.
Okay. All right. Oakland whiffed. They took Robert Gallery, number 2. Arizona had the 3rd pick. They took Larry Fitzgerald. The number 4 pick was Phillip Rivers. The number 5 pick was Sean Taylor. The number 6 pick, okay, ends up being a whiff, but he was uber talented, Kellen Winslow. And then D'Angelo Hall was drafted 8th. I mean, just studs. Jonathan Vilma drafted 12th. That was a sick draft, at least early on.
Yeah. All right. Is there anybody else that want to chime in, or that's it, Drabby?
Gotta break.
I'm busy
54.
looking through. I'm busy looking through at all the quarterbacks and seeing which ones are top 5 and which ones aren't. Derek Carr is a 2nd-round pick, I believe, right? Justin
Correct.
Herbert was
I think it's
6th.
early 2nd round.
Justin Herbert went 6th. Josh Allen was a top 5 pick, though, right?
No, he was like, I want to say like in the 10 or 11.
He
12
was?
10 through 12 range, I want to say.
Oh, I like that. All right, so he's helping my cause.
Maybe I'm botching it.
Tannehill's playing better, but would he go in that 10 range, somewhere like that? Tannehill wasn't a top 5er, right?
Allen was the 7th pick in his draft. In
Allen was
2018.
7th. All right. So I'm taking anybody past 5 is a
Right.
win for my position. You don't need a top 5 pick to
Definitely
find
don't.
your guy.